So I posted this video the other day, actually shared it, of Tyson, when Tyson beat a guy with the rear naked choke. And I mentioned how that was a pivotal moment for War and for me as a coach. And what I mean by that is Tyson at that time was not fighting out of our team. He was actually fighting against one of our guys. But that was back in January of this year, 2019. And on that night, we went 1-2 as a team, which was not very good showing, right? You always want to be on the positive side of that. So at least 2-1, if not 3-0. But that fight specifically, we had a guy who had not enough experience. He was a guy who was not meeting training standards. But we didn't have any of these things written out. We didn't have any of these guidelines. We just had an idea of what we wanted. But he'd already been booked for the fight. He didn't train how we wanted him to train for it. Didn't put in enough time, but we didn't want to pull him out either. We were already committed to it. It wouldn't have been fair to Tyson as his opponent either. So we went through with it. But after that night, literally the next day, Jeremy and I, and also Mike had some input too. We got together and we came up with requirements. And we contracted out to everyone on our fight team. And we said, if you want to be on this fight team and fight out a war, these are these requirements. And they were strenuous, but is what we truly believed that someone had to have if they had goals of being at the top level. And as coaches, our goals were only to be at the top level. We're not in this just to get people in fights. We're in this to win all the fights. If we're not winning 80% of our fights, we're not happy, because that's what it takes to get to the top level. You have to be winning 80%. As a year in 2019, since that moment, we've hit 80% on our wins. It's happened all year long. And we've got a lot of titles, amateur, pros, all doing great. But that moment, that fight, that loss is what changed the standard. Our training regimen got much more standardized after that. We planned everything. I always planned the training out, but it got just so much more intense. And I was like, as a whole, what does everyone on this team for War need to know? Like, if I was a fighter, what would I see? I need to know from each position, each area, each part of the game. And like I said, we just came up with all these requirements that we thought were beneficial and necessary for someone to succeed in MMA. And our training regimen since then has amped up as well. And before you know it, we lost over half of our fight team. But all the ones that stuck around have been great. And now, because of the way we run our practices and the way our fight team is done, we brought in other guys who stick to those standards as well. And so now everyone on the team is doing phenomenal. And the team's grown. We've had homegrown guys, and we've had guys come over and increase their development. And I'm happy how 2020 is looking. I think we're going to have a huge year. I think we have a lot of names that people know locally, but I hope by the end of next year we have a lot more guys on the national level that people know. Anyways, just wanted to share why that was such a pivotal moment for the team. It changed the way that we approached it. We systemized everything after that. And you trust the process, trust the system. There's no way you can adhere to the system and not be successful. Have a good one, guys.